the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How you high? No,
Greatest Super Bowl time.
I don't know what we're doing in that front office, man.
Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her.
What the fuck?
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches.
What is going on, folks? Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet, After Further Review, episode 239. I am your co-host, Jalen Brown.
I'm your other co-host, Malin Dennis.
I am your other co-host, Junebug Spade.
And I am your newest co-host, rolling from the PNW, G-Money.
Yes, he is. Gentlemen, thank you all for taking the time out of your week to do this show once again. We are in the midst of the Western Conference Finals Game 1, so excuse us if we are slightly distracted here. But hey, it's that time of the year, folks. What else can I say?
Yeah.
Let's open up the show how we usually do, which is with a nice cheers. So if you've got a drink at home, be sure to enjoy with us. It's been a minute since I took a shot of not tequila. All right. Yeah, we're going to jump right into things that we've got on the dock for this week's show, which is starting off with the playoffs. We've got the T-Wolves and the Thunder playing right now in the Western Conference Finals. And then on the other side of things, we've got Indiana and New York in the Eastern Conference Finals, which I don't know if you get if you ask anybody at the beginning of the playoffs, if they had those two matchups, not sure anybody would have guessed those two. But here we are, strange year. But hey, let's start off with the game that we've got going right now for this series. What are your guys' thoughts on the two teams that are here? Who do you think is going to win, of course, and in how many games? G-Money, I am curious what you are thinking here, good sir.
So what I'm seeing right now is Julius Randle is getting on fire. I mean, damn. Someone needs to, like, freaking bust his ankle or something. But I still have OKC winning this. I have it in 6, but yeah, I'm going to stick with 6. OKC in 6. I am noticing the same issue that they had with Denver. They're having with Minnesota. They're not good in the half-court game. You get them out and running, and they'll score on you. But their half-court game isn't good. But they still beat Denver, and I still believe they will beat Minnesota. Of course, not shooting like that.
June, what do you think about this series?
Oh, I think it's going to be a good series. Now, I still believe Oklahoma's going to win this series outright. I think Minnesota got the benefit of playing the first 2 rounds. First round they played against the Lakers. Lakers didn't have a big man. They just out-rebounded and outboarded the Lakers to win that series. The next series, they didn't play against Steph Curry. So I'm curious to see how they're going to be against a team that has all their players and matches up with them, very well, of course. But I'm going to take Oklahoma City in this series, and I'm going to take them in 5. I just think they're the more dominant of the teams, and I think they can pull this out. Even they're struggling right now. I think they can still come back and win this game. And I just think they're the better team. So again, I don't think Minnesota has really faced a complete team yet in the playoffs, and now they are. So they're coming out swinging hard, but can they do that for 7 games? And I don't think so.
Malin.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I have to tell people that I wish Oklahoma City just didn't exist. Yeah, I've been waiting for like Putin to do something, something with this city. I hate him, hate the team. I mean, there's so much things to hate. I think I said it last time. I mean, you literally the best player on their team's Canadian, and they're the stolen Sonics. There's nothing good about Oklahoma City. Have you guys ever been to Oklahoma City?
Yes.
I haven't. You know why? Because it fucking sucks. But I'm tired of there's 2 teams that I've been just not giving them their flowers the entire time and keep expecting them to lose, and that's Minnesota and New York, and we'll talk about New York in a second. Minnesota just finds a way to get it done when you don't think they're going to. Like, you're like, okay, they're going to lose to the Lakers. Well, okay, well, they'll lose in the next round. Well, no, they keep just winning and winning pretty dominantly too. And so I think this is going to be a long series. If Denver pushed OKC to 7, I could see Minnesota doing the same thing. And so it's going to be, I think it's going to be an entertaining series, not one that any of us thought, because like you said, like no one really had Minnesota with Ant-Man and Gobert like being in this place. But we'll see what they can do. And it's weird because they were there last year in the Western Conference Finals. I keep forgetting that. So hats off to them for making it back to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I kind of begrudgingly here have OKC in 6, but Minnesota has been kind of upsetting since they got into the playoffs. So I would kind of like to be wrong because the Thunder, I don't like watching them. They're just not a very entertaining team to watch.
Their name is stupid. Their jerseys are ugly. Who picks these colors? What is this?
It's like watching a fat girl at a strip club, Not what you want to do, but, there you are.
And there's only white people in the stands, so it feels kind of racist, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie.
Reminds me of Denver.
Utah.
Whiter than Denver.
Utah white.
Utah white. Malin, you mentioned Putin. Why doesn't he just take care of? To be honest, I don't think he knows Oklahoma exists. Like he probably is not even aware of what that even is.
It's northern Texas.
just saying, man, that you're not blowing up a major city, Oklahoma City. Not that many casualties. Yeah, you're gonna make America mad if you bomb us there, but you're showing some force that, hey, I can get it done if I need to. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I've got OKC 6, but at the same time, I want to be wrong. Minnesota, even though it's kind of odd to say, they are more entertaining to watch than OKC. I don't know, maybe it's just a name thing. Like they've got more recognizable players than OKC does. But I don't know. But at the same time, I just feel like OKC has been the best team this entire year, and by a whole nother level. I don't really think it's really too close between them and the next team. So I'm going to stick with my guns. OKC in 6. Now, if we switch gears over to the East, we've got the Pacers and the Knicks. G-Money, we'll start with you.
So we're going to see a rematch of the 1999 and the 2000 Eastern Conference Finals, right, where the
Oh,
Knicks won in '99, went to the playoff, went to the championship and got their asses handed to them by San Antonio, and then Indiana said, "Wait a minute, hold my beer. It's my turn. Let the Lakers stomp on me like I took their lunch fucking money." So, and Malin's right. None of us really projected both of these teams to be in the finals, Eastern Conference Finals. I didn't. I had Boston and Cleveland, and Cleveland forgot how to play against Indiana, and Boston fucking. They kind of reminded me of that girl that gives her first blowjob, all teeth, and then pukes at the end. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
Neither did she.
I mean,
apparently.
I mean, it was just ugly. It was ugly. I mean, how do you blow 3 double-digit leads? 2 of them being 20-plus points. I mean, so you don't see it coming. It happens. I've been basically shitting on the Knicks since they ended the playoffs. I thought Detroit would beat them. I thought Boston would beat them, and neither did. Looking at Indiana, though, their 5 starters all averaging double digits in the playoffs. I'm going to go with Indiana. Go with Indiana in 7. I think it's going to go 7 games. Go Indiana. Indiana goes to the NBA championship against Oklahoma. Things that we didn't want to see, but here we are. Boston couldn't do what it was supposed to do. Cleveland sure as hell couldn't do what it was supposed to do. And we all felt that Oklahoma City was probably going to come out of the West unless something major happened. So here we are. 2 teams none of us fucking care about. 2 cities that basically mean absolutely nothing to the American nation. They're going to play playing in the NBA Finals.
Shout out to our very
A sad day for all of us.
Shout out to our very own Nestor in the live chat here. He says, "Imagine Pacers and OKC final." He also says, "Also getting the middle seat on the plane is ass."
Oh, God.
June, what do you think about the Eastern Conference Finals?
I mean, I saw the Eastern Conference Finals being the Knicks. At the beginning of the season, I saw the Knicks in Boston playing for the Eastern Conference Final. I did not have Cleveland on my 2025 bingo card having the best record in the East. Just didn't see that coming. But here we are. Indiana was here last year, and I know they got a bad taste in their mouth. They had to play against Boston, and it didn't end well for them. But my question is, are they going to overplay because of what happened last year? Is their coach going to overcoach? Is Halliburton going to take too many bad shots in this series? I mean, there's a lot of stuff, and I think all the pressure right now, for me, all the pressure is on Indiana. Because number one, they was here last year. The Knicks have a different. Now listen, hear me out. The Knicks have a different kind of pressure because a lot of people want to see them win. And if you haven't seen those videos of Knicks fans losing their damn minds, the Knicks have a whole nother level of crazy going on with their fandom. But I'm going to take the New York Knickerbockers. Brunson is a superstar. He is a superstar. And he is not afraid to go up, and take the big shot. Cat is handling that middle. Cat is playing very well. It's a good 1-2 punch right now. And then the stars around them, the guys around them are feeding that energy that they have, So I want to take the Knicks right now, and I'm taking the Knicks in 7. I just believe that they can get it done. So we may see the New York Knickerbockers and OKC in the finals this year. So give me the Knickerbockers in 7.
Malin.
I mean, I want to take the Knicks just for geography purposes. I mean, you're in the West. It's either going to be OKC or Minnesota. That's terrible locations. I'm sure Charles Barkley is really happy about that. And then you have Indiana and New York. Like, we need a little bit of flair. We need a little bit of city. Yeah, I will say that I think that this series is going to come down to one thing, and it's going to be the health of Brunson's ankles because his ankle it's not healing because he's playing so much on it. Does it get worse because he's not getting as much time off to let it rest up? He's going to be the key to the whole series, I think. I two teams when you have two teams that you didn't think that either of them were going to be there, it's hard to pick one now because you're like, I didn't think either of you deserved to be where you are, but yet you're here. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'm gonna go Knicks in 7. I just like they've been playing really solid, no ups and downs. They've just been really good the entire playoffs. They haven't really had any stinkers, I don't think. I mean, but then again, Indiana too. Jesus. So yeah, I'm gonna go Knicks. It just feels like a shit sandwich either way you put it, though. You don't want to see any iteration of these four teams in the finals. You really don't. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to see any of the possibilities. You're like, okay, cool.
Hey, hold on, Taylor, before you go, the crazy part is, did you see that Michael Jordan was announced to call the finals for the first time? He's going to be in the studio, NBC Studios. So, can you imagine having the greatest player out there and having to watch Indiana and fucking OKC? We have Michael Jordan for the first time at the finals, and he's going to have to sit there and watch. And a possibility to watch OKC and fucking Indiana. Come on. Get it together, Boston. This is Boston's fault.
Okay.
Awesome.
I blame Detroit. Now, I am taking Indiana in 7. Part of this, not going to lie, is out of spite. I really don't want to see the Knicks do anything. I hate the Knicks. I hate New York. So, Indiana, I do legitimately think is a pretty good matchup for New York. Like they can guard pretty much 1 through 5. They're just very well rounded. Like they've got starters that can all get you double digits, no problem. In a weird way, they kind of remind me of the Celtics, like an alternate universe Celtics. But I don't think the pressure is more so on Indiana, June, even though they've been here last year. If they were playing the Celtics again, like for the second straight year in this round of the playoffs, then yeah, I think they would kind of be like, all right, like we have to beat them this time. But because it's a different team, I don't really see them, having too much pressure. And most of America is expecting the Knicks to win this series. So I feel like this is kind of the best case scenario for them. And the Knicks have not been here before. I mean, they've got obviously some experienced players on their team. But Indy has been to the same exact spot. And I feel like they're like, all right, the gap between us and Boston last year was pretty wide. The gap between us and New York is like neck and neck. Like we can go beat these guys. So I'm going to take Indy in 7 from an experience standpoint. And also just from a complete bias, I don't want to see New York win literally anything. So they're going to be in some role if they make the finals. So we don't want that.
You know what that means, Jalen. You know the Knicks are going to make it now. You just cursed Indiana.
Unfortunately.
mean, we're unfortunate to get whoever goes anyways, so
This is also
Uh,
true.
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
I mean, you don't. You're right. You don't have a marquee team, right? You don't have a Boston going in there. The Knicks, they were marquee 30 years ago. I mean, maybe 20. 99, 2000. They still had Patrick Ewing, but he was my age, right?
And he was with the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, I mean, old
The 80s and
Patrick
90s
Ewing.
80s and 90s Knicks were good. But isn't the last time the Knicks even won a championship the 70s?
It was 70s.
Yeah,
So let's not act
71.
like
Walt Frazier.
they're not a serious.
Yeah.
Like they're not one of the blue chip NBA teams. They're
No.
just
No, they're not.
they
they're
pretend
just-
to be. New
because they're
York
from New
wants
York.
to be.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. The Nets went to the
Yeah.
the finals the last time before the Knicks have. Didn't they go in like 2001 or something?
Yeah.
2000.
Yeah, they lost to the Lakers. Yeah.
They're part of
Yeah, yeah,
three-peat. I mean,
Mhm.
even New Jersey, and they've like changed their whole identity, and the Knicks are still the Knicks. I mean,
Well,
they
I
tried it
think-
with Stoudemire, they tried it with Carmelo Anthony, they had
Yeah,
Lynn
it's never
Sanity, they
worked.
had all this bullshit, and it's just the Knicks. Like I don't
Bad
know.
trades, man. Bad trades.
Yeah,
bad
bad
plays.
yeah.
I mean, they bad draft picks. I mean, what's his name? What's that kid name that came from Duke? Cam. He was in Zion's clan. Cam something.
Oh, JT.
he was
Barry.
supposed.
Oh, not JT Barry. What am I saying?
No. Cam. What is his name? Cam something. He's not even there anymore.
No, I have no
Funny.
idea what happened.
You remember him?
I mean, I mean, you have a combination of things with the Knicks, right? I mean, bad luck,
Mhm.
bad drafting, bad trades, and then you have bad ownership.
RJ Barry.
That's it
I'm-
right there. You
RJ
have
Barrett,
you have
yeah,
a terrible owner. A terrible.
So
owner.
yeah. So yeah, it's you can look at a lot of other teams and say, yeah, they had bad drafts or they made bad trades, but for a majority of teams, they don't have bad ownership.
Yeah.
But the Knicks had everything. They had the trifecta, because at one point and not in the distant past, they still have bad ownership. They made bad trades and bad drafts. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you expect to really do anything with your team when you do that? I mean, they were lucky when they traded to Minnesota for Cat. Actually, it worked out well for both teams, right? Because
Right.
Minnesota got Randall, who I mean, he's bounced around the league. He was with the Lakers at one point.
They were even more lucky, in my opinion, to get Brunson from Dallas. Dallas had no business getting rid of Brunson when they did, and New York was like, "We'll take him." You want to talk about just bad ownership and just doing stupid trades? Dallas just takes the fucking cake there. But yeah, I mean, they basically assembled Villanova, in the pros. And it's not too bad. It's not too shabby. It's not the best, but it's not the worst.
Yeah. And poor Porzingis. I thought Porzingis was going to change that franchise when he got there.
I mean, poor
I thought-
Porzingis won a chip with us last year.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about when he was with
Yeah.
the Knicks.
When he was with the
No, he
Knicks,
was-
yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was going to change the franchise. I mean, that was supposed to be the guy who you built an entire franchise around. Because we know the guy can play. We know
Yeah, but he can't play
the
very
game.
long though. He's always hurt.
Well, true, too.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is when he got traded to Dallas, right? You're thinking, okay, that's it,
Yeah.
because you're looking at the team, like, and he didn't work well with Nowinski.
No.
For some reason, those two clashed. I mean,
They played the same position, and you couldn't do that.
yeah,
They play, yeah. They play the same.
You have to move. You have to move one to power forward. You really do. If you want to play two at the same time, I mean, Houston did it with Samson and Elijah
Mm-hmm.
where you moved one to power forward for a little while. But Samson's knees were such that it was only for like a season, maybe two, and then Ralph Sampson was out of the game, and Elijah moved back to center. But you can do it, but the player has to buy into doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And if the player isn't willing to buy into it, then you've got something where it's just not going to work, and you're not going to pay that type of money for someone coming off the bench, right? And I mean, I know we're kind of going off on a tangent here as far as bad trades and just bad moves on the part of NBA teams, but you see it all the time, right? You see an owner who wants to win right now. I want to win right now, not next year, not the following year. I want to win right now. So they make trades. They get these players thinking it's like fantasy basketball, and these guys are going to score these points, and then they don't, and they don't understand. It's like, and it's like, first of all, it's not like running your business. Having a professional sports team is totally different than running whatever it was that you made your billions of dollars in. And second, it sure as hell isn't fantasy sports. You get three of the best players in the world, basically, doesn't mean you're going to the championships every year and you're winning.
Yeah,
that's not what that means. Yeah.
Phoenix Suns.
I mean, talk to Brooklyn.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
God, that was so bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's just,
They have not recovered.
Before that, you had the Clippers with Blake Griffin and Chris Paul.
Well, yeah, but they drafted Griffin, though, and they traded for Paul. Well, actually, the Lakers are supposed to get Paul, and the NBA commissioner nixed that deal.
Yeah, Stern nixed that with dickhead.
I don't know.
But, I mean,
we're talking.
Okay, we went off on a tangent. We apologize to our audience.
All right, let's get to the news here, which finally, this is one piece of news that was like circulating for the longest time of what was going to happen. But Brock Purdy finally got a contract extension with San Francisco, which was 5 years, $565 million for good old Brock Purdy there. So yeah, what do you guys think about this contract? Malin, I'm gonna start with you here.
Fucking waste of money. is what it is. You're going down the rabbit hole that the Seahawks went down with Russell Wilson and the Legion of Boom. When you start paying all your starters the way you're paying them, they just like Ayuk has already been upped. They just gave Fred Warner a shit ton of money. I think $63 million. You give everybody money, right? And you keep everybody in their starter position for as long as the Niners do. What ends up happening is that you have no depth when injuries come up. You're never giving opportunities for the people that you're drafting behind them to get reps. There should be some sort of revolving door at times with talent, especially if you're drafting well. And the Niners do draft well. They do draft talent, but they give out stupid ass contracts to people. They paid CMC way too much money. They're paying Brock Purdy way too much money. They paid Debo way too much money. And then while they're paying Debo way too much money, they're like Brandon Ayuk. Let's just print money and pretend there's no salary cap. So let's give you a deal. It's like Oprah Winfrey. You get a car. Everybody gets a fucking car over there. And I just think that they're going to end up regretting it because Brock Purdy played at a solid level when people got hurt, but he's not the clutch that, you know what, I'm going to put the team on my back, and no matter what's happening, we're going to grind out a win. That's the difference between him and Russell Wilson when I'm talking Seahawks and Niners. Russell Wilson could do that. Russell Wilson was that guy at a point in his career where he's like, you know what, I'm going to will us the victory. How many games have we seen Brock Purdy will them to victory? You know what I mean? He always has solid games. He's always, throwing I don't know that he's making people better. He's just always had better people around him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I think that as soon as the talent starts to dip around him, he's not a Tom Brady that's gonna just make any wide receiver that he's throwing to a better wide receiver. He's not. Peyton Manning did the same thing. I mean, hell, Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl with undrafted free agents. When this happens, I think we're gonna see him play. I think he'll still put up decent numbers because I think that Shanahan is a good coach. But I just don't see him making people better. I don't see him being that leader. That's a lot of money. What is it, like $53 million a year?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Jesus Christ. For Brock fucking Purdy. I mean, he's not even the best quarterback in his division. Matt Stafford is the best quarterback in the NFC West. Like, I don't know. Somebody like Jalen Hurts who actually beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Maybe he deserves $53 million.
Yeah, I'll go real quick here, and I did make a video on this. There's only a couple comments to read in the next segment, but yeah, I think that unfortunately it's kind of the quarterback problem that the NFL does have right now, where it's like, it's just a very overpaid position to begin with, and then him going to that Super Bowl was probably the worst thing to happen for the 49ers. I mean, great for him, but for San Francisco, it was like, well, damn. We can't really, do we want to move off of him? Not really, because what's the better option? So, all right, well, we gotta have to pay him the going rate, and that's what they did. But unfortunately, it's like there's the upper class of quarterbacks who, like Malin said, like there's the guys that elevate the dudes around them, which is like Mahomes, Jackson, Allen, Burrow, like those guys. And then there's kind of a bunch of pretty good guys, which I think Purdy is lumped in, like Tua, Dak, Kirk Cousins-ish. And then there's
he's like Jared Goff 2.0.
Yeah. Like I would throw Goff in there too. But it's like
Goff $3 million.
Right, and that's the problem. Where it's like, do you really want to could we actually see him winning a Super Bowl? No. Like that's what it just comes down to me. Like if you just ask that simple question, I don't see that happening unless San Francisco somehow assembles another all-star team. Then maybe, but how are they going to do that now with all this money that they're handing out? So
they need defense to be able to do it. They need to be able to play from a lead. But then again, Shanahan's terrible at coaching when he has a lead, i.e. Super Bowl when the New England Patriots won. I don't know. I just
well, you think about what's going to happen. This deal was probably they could have made him a what is it called when you sign him just for the 1 year? They could have made him a
tag.
Yeah, they got a franchise.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, right?
No, you're not gonna franchise him.
The thing is, you should have waited, or you should have waited to draft another quarterback, and you had a chance to draft the quarterback this season, and you didn't. Right now, they're going to start the season with 2 third-string wide receivers as their starters. Brandon Ayuk is not starting this season. He's probably not going to come back to week 6. So you got 2 third-string players as your starters because you traded away Deebo Samuel. And you got Jawan Jennings and who was the other guy? Ricky Pearsall. That's who you're starting.
He got shot last year.
Yeah. So that's your that's your two best wide receivers on the roster as of right now. Because Ayuk is not gonna. If he starts this season, it'll be a miracle. And if he does start this season, he may not be 100% in my view. And so you're gonna see if Brock Purdy is worth that money. That's why I said you probably should have franchised him for a year to see what you got out of him. If he started this season 5-0, then you could have signed him in the middle of the season for that much money. But if they come out this season and Brock Purdy is only throwing for 140 yards a game and throwing, 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions a game, what are you gonna do then? Ayuk is not the answer. And that's another thing too. Brandon Ayuk is not a number 1 receiver. I don't know where they got this notion from. Brandon Ayuk needs another dominant receiver. Yeah. Brandon Ayuk needs a guy beside him, like a Deebo Samuel, that's going to take all the flack. And a Kittles, with George Kittles, those two guys take away. And then there you go. There's Brandon Ayuk can run free. Now you're going to bring Brandon Ayuk back, and he's got to be the number 1 guy. He's not built for that. He's just not built for it. And they wasted money signing Brandon Ayuk last year, and they're doing it again this year with Brock Purdy. So for me, being a Cowboys fan, good on you. Sign away all your damn money, San Francisco. Take all that money. You know what I'm
saying? So the contract itself was really only $265 million. It doesn't take effect until next year, so he's still under his rookie contract this year. It's $181 million in guarantees. He got $100 million guaranteed when he signed. So when you look at it, it's really not that bad of a contract. It's like $47.5 million a year, which, I mean, that's not a top 5 quarterback. So they paid him basically what he was worth. And since it doesn't take effect till next year, so all they've got tied up is $100 million, which, not a lot of money in football terms, a shitload of money for us. But if he falls on his face and fails, they can move on from him. I mean, it's sort of like how we signed Sam Darnold, and that contract looked kind of big, but then when you look at it and you look at the details, it's like, oh yeah, not bad at all. And the same with this, not a bad contract when you look at it and you look at it at its entirety. He's getting paid like a top 10, top 12 quarterback, but he's not getting paid like the top 5 or 6. And he was probably, I mean, you put that type of a contract in front of someone who's the last pick in the draft, who I think this year is making like $900,000. You tell him next year you're going to make like $52 million. Now I think it's like 46.5. But there's $100 million guaranteed right here. You sign this contract. Here is $100 million. I mean, that's not just life changing. That's generational wealth right there.
Right.
So I don't fault him. I think in reality it was a good deal for the Niners. They paid him what he was worth. They didn't overpay. And that's what you want to do. So I don't see it as being a bad deal. I see a lot of their other deals being bad deals. Like, as June said, when they signed Ayuk last year, I'm like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. Deebo was a better receiver and running back than Ayuk. But, you guys want to spend all that money. I'm as Malin said, I'm okay with you breaking the bank and not having any depth being in my division. I'm good with that.
Happy. Because we already got the Rams that actually have a good front office. So, what the fuck? How did they bounce back so goddamn fast?
I know.
Yeah, they good. They doing.
I thought
they drafted well.
Yeah, I thought
they drafted well.
Okay, the Rams are going to start slipping. They don't got Darnold. They already got rid of what the fuck was his name? Ramsey. Early was gone. Like Cup is now Seahawk. Like I was like, all right, but no, they just in the fucking division last year. That's bullshit.
That's fucking hurtful. Fucking hurtful.
I mean, and you know what? And they was the only team that played the Eagles tough. They should have won that game versus the Eagles. They should have beat the Eagles in that playoff game.
Hey, Jalen, I was moving today, so I forgot to text. Do you mind if I bring up 2 more news to talk about it briefly? I just think it needs to be said. One, Major League Baseball coming out and saying that Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson are now eligible for the Hall of Fame because a lifetime ban does not mean after death anymore. So you have Shoeless Joe Jackson, who was accused of cheating back in the 1918 World Series, I believe it was, right? G Money and
1919. Because I was
Okay,
back there and I actually sat in and
you
watched
were
the
there.
game.
Shoeless Joe
Why would
Jackson
you
had
do
one of the
money?
best
Why
World
would you
Series.
say that?
Shoeless Joe Jackson had one of the best World Series. He clearly wasn't on the take. He was trying to win. They blackballed him. And then Pete Rose. Yeah, Pete Rose gambled on baseball. He did. I will admit that I think that Gary, correct if I'm wrong, but when he gambled on the Reds, he was gambling for him to win, right? He wasn't gambling for him to lose.
So initially when he interviewed and they asked him if he gambled on baseball, he said he did not. And they presented him with the evidence, and then he said, well, he did gamble on baseball, and they asked him if he bet on the Reds, and he said he bet on them to win, and that was the only time he bet on them. But it's come out that he actually bet on them to lose as well.
Oh wow.
So I mean, quite frankly, here's the thing with that, as far as that goes. Major League Baseball has always had a no betting on baseball rule. You bet on baseball, you're out. You're done. You're finished. Goodbye. And that's I mean, do I think he was one of the best baseball players, at least that I have seen? Yes, most definitely. That man, hence his nickname, Charlie Hustle. I mean, in an All-Star game, he ran over the freaking catcher when it didn't matter.
I remember seeing that.
But I'm sorry, sir. You bet on baseball, and you knew. Even then, you knew that betting on baseball would get you this sentence. And
the thing that always bothered me about it, though, Gary, was that yes, okay, he broke the rules. He bet on baseball, so you can never have anything to do with baseball again. Okay. But that shouldn't stop you from honoring the accomplishments of the man. Even if you want to put an asterisk on his plaque and say he's serving a lifetime ban because he cheated, the fact that the Major League Baseball has had the all-time hits leader not in the Hall of Fame for like 40 some years, I felt like there was a way to still do both. Because he still was a part of baseball to some degree. Like the Reds were bringing him in to do ceremonial stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, I still think you could have honored what he did on the field. I mean, you got people like Ty Cobb in the Hall of Fame. So it's the Hall of Fame. It's not the Hall of really great people. No one's saying that Pete Rose was a good guy. Ty Cobb killed a man. And he was a racist.
And you don't get banned from the Hall of Fame for murdering someone or being a racist. That's just the way it is. I mean, it's unfortunate, but those are the rules. Those have always been the rules. So you understand that, and so you know that if you get caught betting on baseball while you are either a major league player or you are on the coaching staff or a manager, that you will indeed get banned and you will not go into the Hall of Fame. You know that. So I mean, I just don't grasp how it's like, well, that's okay. He's dead now. Look what he did. So what? Who fucking cares? No one should fucking care what he did, because if you care what he did on the field, then you care about what he did when he was betting on the team and betting against the team, because that means you were throwing games. That means you could have thrown games to win money.
But then on the other side, the Houston Astros, Jose Altuve and the Astros openly cheated, and they got caught cheating, and there's no lifetime ban for actually cheating.
And there's no lifetime ban for PEDs either.
Yeah,
so Jose Canseco could go in, or Mark McGwire, or Sammy Sosa. They could all go in. They're not going to, by the way, unless. And in fact, I think there's a time limit as far as that goes. But no, I mean, if indeed you do something that has a lifetime ban, you don't go into the hall. I'm sorry. Doesn't matter how good you are. And I will be the first one to say, Pete Rose was probably one of the greatest baseball players I ever got to see. But once again, you do something. I mean, not a free pass. I mean, you're not Trump. You don't get to murder someone in Times Square and still be president. No, sir, that does not happen.
Not everybody gets to be Trump. All right, last thing, Jalen, I want to bring up, because it's that time of year again. We got the WNBA.
Sir.
We had the Indiana Fever in the Chicago Sky square off. And boy, was that fun. Caitlin Clark has now played 50 games in the WNBA, and she's already number 3 on the all-time list on triple doubles. So that's a neat stat. Angel Reese, I think, had 12 points, 17 rebounds. What I really want to talk about, though, is the foul that Angel Reese lost her shit on. And Caitlin Clark was like, "It's just a basketball play. Like, I don't know why you're." And then, she said, she was like, "You don't give him a free pass to the basket. You put him on the line." And Angel Reese isn't a good free throw shooter, so it was a smart basketball play. But Angel Reese lost her mind. Caitlin Clark's teammate Wilson stopped Angel Reese from damn near clocking Caitlin Clark in the back of the head as Caitlin Clark was walking away. And then she still went after Caitlin Clark 3 minutes later. It was crazy. I love the dynamic of these two, simply because they're both good basketball players. I think Caitlin Clark is going to be an all-time great in Indiana. I don't think Angel Reese is going to be an all-time great. So I don't think you're going to see a Bird Magic kind of a deal.
Right.
But I love that it started in college like Bird and Magic. It's transcending over here into the WNBA. The WNBA loves it.
It's a storyline.
It's a good storyline to have for the WNBA. So what are your guys' thoughts on Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, WNBA, just starting off on the right foot with a damn near fight between these two, and Indiana beat their ass by 38 points. So
you have to have this. The WNBA has been lacking this for a while. When they came out, and Houston was winning all those titles, and they was going up against LA, and LA couldn't beat Houston. You had villains. You need villains, and you need good guys. You need the heroes. Somebody's got to be the hero. Somebody's got to be the villain. And no matter who it is and how you look at it, somebody's got to do it. The WNBA needs this, and they need other. We all know that Asia Wilson is the best player in the WNBA. There's no discussion. That's not even up for debate. Asia Wilson of Las Vegas is the best player in the WNBA. This storyline has to promote the WNBA because that get people talking. No matter how many double-doubles Asia Wilson has, she cannot get the headlines because you have this story and this like you said, Malin, this started in college and they're going for it. They're still at it. I just don't want it to get out of hand. You know what I mean? I don't want it to get out of hand. It needs to stay within the court. Yeah.
It's literally the same way that Magic and Bird saved the NBA, where the finals weren't even live. You know what I mean? It didn't matter that you had Irving and all these other great players, in the league at the time. There was the Bird and Magic that really revitalized the NBA, and that's what these two are going to do for the WNBA. I'm here for it. I think they're both really good players. Like I said, I think Caitlin Clark is going to be an MVP at some point. I think she's going to. I'm not sure that Angel Reese ever will. I think Angel Reese has the ability to be a really good player. But I think it's just fun. And then you still got Brink coming back from the ACL with LA, and they got Kelsey Plum from Las Vegas, so LA is going to be hot. Paige Becker's coming into the league from UConn. I can't wait for that girl out of USC to get healthy after she tore her ACL.
Juju.
Like it's weird, man. Like I never thought we'd get to a place to where like the WNBA would like have a place that we would even want to talk about it on the show. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's at a place where we want to talk about it on the show.
mean-
We never talk about hockey on this show, but we talk about the WNBA. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's.
The interesting thing. I'm sorry.
No,
You want to go ahead, Jalen, and then I'll follow you. So that game drew 2.7 million viewers, the highest the WNBA game has ever drawn. 2.7 million. And Malin's right. June's right. You need a hero. You need a villain. They're carrying on what kind of a college thing, but it just reminds me of WWE. This Hulk Hogan and Rick, the Nature Boy Flair. Beautiful. It's like, I mean, it's good. It's good for the WNBA. It garners viewership, and everywhere Caitlin goes, they're playing an NBA arena and they sell out. And you cannot, well, you should not, as a WNBA player, be upset with her because she is bringing you money.
They need to get over that.
You're going to make more money because of her. You're doing commercials. So 3 years ago, you turn on the TV, you see a commercial. Every once in a while, there'd be a Corona commercial, and it would have, oh God, I should know her name. She played for the Storm for like forever, and she played for UConn.
Oh no,
Sue Bird. Had Sue Bird, but that was the only person you saw was Sue Bird. I remember her doing a commercial with Steph Curry, and there was someone else, and he was talking about, how many rings he had, 5, and she put out her hands, and was like, yeah, I have 10 and one more back there, and they're like, oh shit, okay, whatever. But now you start seeing WNBA players doing Nike commercials, doing all types of commercials, national commercials, not local commercials, but national commercials.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And that's what she brings, and you all have to, and they have to understand that. Yeah, you can play like you hate her, but you gotta hate, but love her, because you're getting paid enough money now that you don't have to go play in Europe. You don't have to play 10 months out of the year. You can play the short WNBA season and make money from commercials and feel real good about it.
Agreed.
What do you think, Jalen?
Lower the rim so they can dunk.
Chaos.
Hey, we drafted that French girl that can dunk. I'm waiting to see her. She hasn't played very many minutes. She's like 19, but she dunked in the French league.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
What do you think?
my girl and I have become Golden State Valkyrie fans. 'Cause they are
Ooh,
the
okay,
team.
okay.
So we're keeping up with them.
Mhm.
First game did not go well, but
Golden State, huh? What made
yeah,
you guys choose them?
that's because the
Yeah, I
new
mean,
team on the
it,
block. Figured
New
why
team
not?
on the block. Okay.
oh, okay. I was going to say, your girl's from New York. She should be like a Liberty fan or something.
They just
The
won the
thing,
title.
right? That was the thing. We kind of considered that, but we didn't want to be bandwagon, so we were like, yeah, let's go the complete opposite. So yeah, but
That's good. Oh, and this is going to sound very LeBron James like. I get this. But Caitlin Clark, in only her second game in the WNBA in her sophomore season, already leads the league in WNBA history with most games with 25 points and 10 assists.
wow,
25 points and 10 assists. Cheryl Swoops,
crazy.
shut the fuck up. Girl, like, you had your own Nike shoe way back in the day in the 90s.
Sure,
You never
she's
had
a
this.
hater. She's a hater.
So it's just, it's crazy, man. Like you said, they need to stop hating on Caitlin Clark. Stop
Mhm.
trying to hurt her. I mean, Angel Reese got mad about the foul that Caitlin Clark did on her. Angel Reese damn near tried to take her head off last year, trying to act like she was swatting for the ball and just used her whole goddamn arm and just went over Caitlin Clark's head, trying to knock it off her body. Just you need to protect your bread and butter. Caitlin Clark gets hurt, no one's going to talk about the WNBA this year.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. You have some other players that can get to the level of Caitlin Clark that have been drafted over the last 2 years. They need time to evolve and time to get into the league and time to get great. But you need Caitlin Clark. It would have been like, if Michael Jordan in the early 90s, tore his ACL and he wasn't playing and the Bulls weren't there. Like, viewership was down when he went and played baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So they need Caitlin Clark. It shouldn't be a race thing. It shouldn't be a race thing. I feel like it is a little bit. Shouldn't be. So, all right, that's all I had. I'm sorry for hijacking the show there, Jalen. Those are just two things that I was talk about.
no, that was good. That was good. All right, community comments. I do want to get to so Eastern Conference Finals. Hold on. Let me do the Western Conference Finals first. So I asked you guys on TikTok. Of course, that is where most of the comments came in. Who you think is winning the Western Conference Finals? Of course, we had June here saying Thunder in 5. We had Malik saying Wolves in 5. We have OB Cool saying Wolves in 6. Kratos says there's one team that plays faster. That's the Pacers. I don't know.
Malik on the spectrum? I think he's on the spectrum.
I think yeah.
Kratos. I think
He was confused. West and East.
Okay, I'm just gonna skip over that.
He must be a Euro player. He must be a Euro person.
Yeah.
They might live in Alabama. You never know.
That's true too.
Greg
I'm trying to
says
be nice.
Wolves in 6, and Shed says Wolves in 6. Hey, a lot of people picking the
A
Wolves.
lot of Wolves. They wrong, but
All right, the more interesting one, Eastern Conference Finals. This is where people were a bit more vocal. Frank, shout out to Frank, says this is New York's year. Okay, Frank, I'm getting banned. Lance
Okay,
says
Frank. Okay.
Knicks in
Did you
5.
say he was banned?
Mickey says, so let me ask you, they're gonna be this game 7. They have the same team, bro. Do we have the same roster from last year, or we had 7 players injured last year? Okay.
I think he was talking to you, Malin. Jalen, I think he was talking to you because you said because you had said Indiana in 7, so I think he was saying that to you, right?
He was.
Yeah.
But that doesn't. I'm sorry. Boston had the
We
same
didn't
roster
have,
from last year, and what happened to us?
yeah. And what the fuck? Like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, go pick some fucking corn. Like, you
Uh,
wasn't
Go-
that last year. Shut the fuck
I mean,
up. We beat
I
the
mean,
Eastern Conference Finals. It was fine. Jesus
I
Christ.
mean,
God
I mean, go show us what you mean when you say you're cornholing.
Oh,
yeah, these fucking inbred people in Indiana.
Lou
Jesus.
says Knicks in 6 last year. Boston took out Indiana with the same roster, and New York took out Boston this year with Boston roster from last year. And New York have 2 new additions and healthy.
Okay, I will say this, Lou. First of all, that sounds like you should be a Knicks fan if your name is Lou. Second, you used a lot of words, but the premise is correct. That was really weird. You must have been drinking. You had a little too many tall boys there. But yeah, I mean, I will say this: that we did not lose the series in New York because Tatum got hurt. We blew the lead, and New York was up by 7 when Tatum got hurt. Like, we didn't lose that series because Tatum got hurt. So we did have the same roster that won the finals last year. New York did beat us. And so if you want to try to put all the puzzle pieces together, because you're really scared as a Knicks fan, and you want to convince yourself that they should win easily, that's what Lou's doing. Lou is drunk, and he's like, I really want the Knicks to win. And so here's this national treasure bullshit. Nicolas Cage told me that this is all happening. So I mean, it makes sense at the end, but damn, Lou.
but that's okay, Lou. Make sure you come back next week. We need your hot takes.
Exactly.
Yeah, sorry. Like I shit on people, dude.
RCG says, bro, it went 7 last year when New York was basically the Walking Dead, decimated by injuries. Indiana has no chance against a healthy New York.
Why does everybody playing the injury card?
I don't know.
No one's completely healthy at this time of the year.
Yeah, right. The rest is a bunch of people. Just Knicks in 6, Knicks in 6, Knicks in 6, Knicks in 5. Knicks are healthy. Knicks in 6. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay.
I'm actually worried about what these fans will do to New York City if they win the finals.
I know.
To be honest, they go to the finals and win. My God, like they'll be like Philly, hold my beer.
Manhattan's gonna burn.
Yeah.
Manhattan's gonna fucking burn. I can tell you that now.
I mean, you're calling out the National Guard. If you're the mayor of New York, you're contacting the governor, you're calling out the fucking National Guard, and you're deploying them. Because New York fans are worse than Philly fans. And Philly fans are fucking
No riot and a
dickheads.
win.
They will. I mean, they'll
gonna
fucking
lose
torch half the
scores.
city. They will torch half the fucking city, whether they win or lose. So you just bring the fucking guard out. Just deploy them and give them a shoot on sight order.
That's what I'm talking about. Shoot on
See,
sight.
there we
Let's
go.
Okay.
Let's thin the crowd a little
Okay.
bit.
Y'all just
Trump wants to deport people. We
Goodness
just need
gracious.
shoot on side orders is all we need.
poor Nick fans. Nick fans,
Yeah.
these views are not shared by all of us. I love you, and I hope that you do win the championship. I hope you come back next week for the next show, because we want to see
This is why we need
some
Junior.
more.
Listen, when I say Nick, I mean like some drunk ass guy coming home and fucking his dog, thinking it's his wife because his wife is ugly too. Like that's how bad I want the Knicks to be.
Just wondering why it's tighter than normal.
Poor fat ass pug gonna get the
Oh
dirty
my
end of
gosh.
Trump because somebody come in late,
What just
get
happened?
drunk.
What just
Don't know what
happened?
happened.
Ride or
I'm
die
just
in
saying.
5.
All right, let's go ride or
Get
die.
up out of
Thank
here.
Poor pugs in New York.
Lord
Poor
have
ass
mercy.
pugs in New York.
And this is why I will never tell nobody where I work we have this podcast.
Okay. Last week we're only kind of picking 2 games from here on out. Ride or Die 5 is coming to a end, folks. Its days are numbered as we roll out the end of the NBA season. So enjoy it while it lasts. But last week I went 1-1. Malin went 0-2. G Money went 1-1, and June went 2-0.
Ooh, yeah.
June. Good old June. What were the 2 games last week?
It was Knicks, Boston, and
Game 6, and then OKC
Yeah.
and Denver game
Mhm.
6 as well.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate AC even more now. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. The crazy thing, Malin, don't know if you know this or not. Someone had a huge lead when I started, and like Boston, who just fucking blows leads because they don't know what to do with them. You blew your lead too.
Did. Over the last year and a half, I did. I did. I was up like plus 88 a year and a half ago. So it's been rough sledding for me, and my Ride or Die in 5 bank account that I use to bet is feeling it. It is feeling it. It's not as big of a purse as it used to be, people.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
So it does happen to the best of us.
It does. We hit those losing streaks, and it fucking sucks.
All right, our first game this week, we've got game 1 tomorrow, the Eastern Conference Finals. G Money, what do you want here?
I like Indiana. Like I said before, all 5 of their starters in the playoffs have averaged double digits. You only have 2 players with the Knicks. Brunson, who I swear to God, he is the 2025 version of the $6 million man. He's got a bionic fucking ankle. And Cat, who actually has done quite well since the trade from Minnesota. Too bad he couldn't do that in Minnesota. They might have, gone to an NBA championship. But that's it. That's all they have. And it's hard for me to buy in on the Knicks. It really is. I mean, Thibodeau has used his bench a little bit more in the playoffs, but still, I mean, by a little bit more means like maybe 5 to 8 minutes a game. I mean, that's not a lot.
Yeah.
And I like Indiana's bench players. I just think that Indiana will prevail. I think they'll probably put Pascal Siakam on Cat, and Cat really hasn't had to defend a big man who plays defense. Because let's not kid ourselves, Porzingis can score, but he doesn't play defense, and so you have to rotate him and Corbett. If you had a hybrid of Corbett and Porzingis, that might have spelt an issue for Cat. So give me Indiana at home, winning a close one.
Game 1, I'm also going to take Indiana at home because I'm predicting them to win this series in 7. They're, in my opinion, I think they need to steal a game, and why not come out and strike first? And yeah, I feel like they are just extremely hot right now. New York is like not quite the momentum that I feel like Indiana has at this current point in time. So give me the Pacers to steal game 1. Malin.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Pacers on this one. At home, Eastern Conference Finals. I just think that inbred crowd, Cornhuskers, are going to be crazy. And I think Indiana's going to win it too. At some point, New York has to be tired, right, from playing their starters like all the goddamn time. Like we've been saying it the whole year. At some point, it has to happen.
Right.
And I hope that Halliburton gets a big shot and does the whole big nuts thing again. I think that'd be great. So
All right. Second game. I'm sorry. I didn't go to June.
June go.
Go ahead.
Oh no! First game, I'm taking the Knicks. I'm picking them to win. I pick them in 7, so you can't win them all unless you start with the first one. So give me the Knicks in the first game.
So is June the only
Well,
person
you're not gonna.
taking?
I mean, you're not gonna win them all if you picked them in 7. So.
But you got to win one away if you're going to win 4.
Yeah.
You got to win 1 to get to 4. So
This is true.
don't hate me. I love you. It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long day.
I'm sorry. June is the only person taking the Knicks.
Yeah,
The Knicks.
Right.
the only one that was 2-0 last week took the team that 3 of us didn't take. So I'm feeling really good.
I love those odds. All right. Thursday, we have game 2 of this shit show now. I will go first here. Still in OKC. Assuming that Minnesota does not come back and win this game, which I just can't see that happening. I am going to go out on a limb here and take Minnesota out of desperation to win game 2. Yeah. OKC is also very kind of hot and cold, so if they win this one, I can see them on Thursday taking the night off. So yeah, give me Minnesota. Malin.
I still blame Putin for this, but I even have to pick this game because this team shouldn't even be alive. I'm taking OKC in this. I think they're going to go up 2-0 in the series. I mean, we saw Minnesota with a pretty decent lead in the first half, and OKC was like, that's a cute lead you had there. It'd be a shame if someone just wiped it away and beat the shit out of you. And that's exactly what they've done in this game. So I just don't June already said it, that Minnesota hasn't played a team like OKC yet. And I hate the fact that you're right about that, June, because I don't want OKC to be that team. I don't want them to be this good.
Yeah.
I really don't. I want them to die. That's what I want. I'd like deport SGA, kill everybody else. I hate the squad. I hate the team. I hate the owner. Start with him. I hope if OKC wins the championship, the owner dies getting trampled on by fans, to be honest with you. So, yeah, but I'm going to take OKC begrudgingly, and I blame Putin.
June.
Gosh, how can I follow that? No, I think, like I said before, I think they're just too strong for this team, and they're a complete team. And right now, as you're seeing, Minnesota started off hot, but as you saw, Oklahoma City calmed the game, and they just taking them behind the woodshed right now. So I'm gonna take OKC in game 2. I think they take game 2, and it might not even be close. So.
All right. G Money.
Yeah. Watching this game and watching how Minnesota could not keep OKC in a half-court game. They just couldn't do that. And if you want to slow them down and stop them from running, limit their scoring, and force them into turnovers, you got to make them play a half-court game at least 3 quarters. And if you can't do it 3 quarters, you got to do it the second half. Because there was a coach, and I don't recall his name, but he said, can you win the game in the first quarter? No.
Are you talking about
Can you win the game in the second quarter? No. Can you win the game in the third quarter? No. Can you win the game in the fourth quarter? Yes. And I just feel that Minnesota is probably a play away. I look at Randall and I think, who else thinks of like other players that have played on really good teams, but the team moved the player on because didn't quite fit what they wanted.
Right.
And they won and they scored. And that's Randall. I mean, he scores. He's a damn good player, but who else do they have? They have him. They have Ant-Man. Gobert had one good game in the playoffs against the Lakers because the Lakers don't have a freaking center. I mean, I cannot go against OKC. I don't like the owner. The city is blasé. I mean, if you were to ask what is OKC known for, I don't know. Not really oil. Not barbecue. Yeah, they're really not known for fucking any. Well, there is one thing they're known for, and that's back in the I think it was 1923, 24, when they fucking burnt down the black section of the goddamn city.
So Oklahoma.
It's Oklahoma City.
So
yeah,
racist.
so that's what you want to hang your hat on. Yeah.
The white guy so black doing shit on a court. That's great.
And I mean,
Fuck that place.
Oh fuck, I don't want that. But I got to go for OKC though. I really have to go for OKC as much as it pains me. I just don't see Minnesota having the horses really to hang with them. Like I said, I've got it going in 6. I got OKC winning in 6. So I do think Minnesota will win a couple of games. I think between Randall and Ant-Man and someone else, off their bench or something, will have an out of their mind night, and they'll win, but not the next game, not this game, and not the next game. Maybe the next game in Minnesota, but not this game, and definitely not the next game. So give me OKC, as much as it pains me.
They have a good barbecue spot they call Shorty Smalls.
Yeah, but he probably came from Memphis or from Kansas City or from Dallas, Houston area. Yeah.
He came from Texas.
I mean, okay, see, that's what I'm saying. It's not like he grew up there and they created it. When you start talking barbecue, you start looking at like, Memphis, Kansas City, Texas, the Carolinas do really good barbecue, but Oklahoma. The most positive thing you can say about Oklahoma is once they forcefully relocated the Cherokees there, and after on the reservation, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, in fact, they figured out how to make money off the white man. And they've done nothing but make money. They've got oil. They've got casinos. That's the only thing. In fact, actually, they want 3/4 of the state. And if I were Oklahoma, I'd give them 3/4 of the fucking state. I'm like, you guys are making money. We're not.
Side note, Nestor just updated me with his picks. He's got Pacers and he's got OKC.
There we go.
So I am the only person taking the taking the Timberwolves. And June remains the only person taking the Knicks.
There you go.
All right now. Folks, thank you all for joining us for this wacky episode 239. It's a weird one.
I want to apologize to people from New York and OKC.
And
You don't need to apologize to people.
I mean, yeah, why? I mean, New York, you make enough money, you can move out of the city. In fact, most of the people do move out of the city and just work in the city. OKC,
Florida, which is
you white
wild.
fucking trailer trash. I mean, let's be honest. If you've got money, you don't live there. And most people don't, so they have to. You know?
Yeah.
I want to thank you all for watching, listening. If you want to weigh in on our videos, follow us at AFR Sports on Instagram and or TikTok. So hey, we will talk to you all next week. Have a good one. And hey, see you next week.
Peace out, guys.
Yeah.